Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Todd. Welcome to the Miller Method. Today we are going to be talking about fasted cardio. And fasted cardio is the notion that if I do aerobic exercise in the morning after an overnight fast, my insulin levels are going to be low, my blood sugar levels are going to be low, and as a result of that, I'm going to break down and utilize more fat for energy utilization during exercise. So let's talk about whether that's actually true and whether that happens. So I have some numbers back up here on the board, and there is evidence that if you exercise on an empty stomach after a fast, you will break down more fat than if you do that in the fed condition. But let's walk through the numbers and see if that really matters in terms of long-term fat loss. So here I have the fasted condition and the fed condition. And in the fasted condition, let's make believe this person is doing 30 minutes of aerobic exercise every day. And in the fasted condition, they're burning 58% of their calories from fat during that exercise. And in the fed condition, they're only burning 47% of their calories from fat during that exercise. So in 30 minutes, in the fasted condition, the total amount of calories burned is 292. Of that 292, 169 of those calories come from fat. So that's 58% of 292. 169 calories come from fat. In the fed condition, this individual burns 309 calories, but only 145 come from fat. So clearly in the fasted condition, more fat is being burned. 169 is higher than 145. So let's say that individual does that for 6 months. So every day, 6 months, 30 minutes of aerobic exercise. How much fat is actually burned during that activity between these two groups? So if we just mathematically calculate this out, the 6-month fat burn in the fasted condition is 9 pounds during the exercise itself, as compared to 7 pounds in the fed condition. So the guy in the fasted condition, or the person in the fasted condition, burns 9 pounds of fat during that actual exercise over the course of 6 months. The person in the fed condition only burns 7 pounds, but remember, the person in the fed condition burned 309 calories as opposed to 292. So there's a greater calorie deficit at the end of the day, assuming everything is the same between these two people. Assuming that their diet is the same, assuming all their other activity during the day is the same, this person's going to have a bigger deficit. And that deficit is going to come from fat. So if we look at the total amount of fat burn at the end of 6 months, not just during the exercise, but the total, you can see that the person in the fasted condition burns 15 pounds and the person in the fed condition burns 16 pounds. So there's a greater total fat burn in the person who does cardio in the fed state than in the fasted state because they're burning more calories. So you might ask yourself then, well, what if we equate the calories? What if they burn the same amount of calories during the activity, but one person burns more fat and one person doesn't? So let's say they both burn 300 calories during the activity. So again, we have the fasted and the fed. They both burn 300 calories at the same percentages. The fasted person will burn 174 calories from fat, and the fed person will burn 141 calories from fat. So if we look at the 6-month fat burn again, it still comes out to 9 pounds versus 7 because these numbers are really close. But now, if we look at the total 6-month fat burn, this is 15.4 pounds for both people because the calorie deficit is exactly the same. So once again, we're saying that what really determines fat loss long term, what really determines changes in body composition, is the size of the calorie deficit that you create at the end of the day, not what substrate is being used during the exercise itself. So day-to-day variations in whether you're burning fat or carbs during the exercise doesn't matter. What matters is, are you creating a deficit at the end of the day? And over that 6 months or a year, how big is that deficit? So once again, if you're looking at losing fat using cardiovascular exercise, get on a treadmill, get on elliptical, whatever you're going to do, get on there, burn as many calories as you possibly can, and you're going to have the greatest fat loss over time. Thanks.